Okay, hello everybody. Today we are going to look at divisions of the skeletal system. So, in your Edmodo, go to the post that says divisions of the skeletal system. We have a link for the reading. We have my email that you can send your assignment to, and we have the practice questions. So let's take a look at this. So we learned earlier that the skeletal system consists of what we call the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. So the axial skeleton is going to consist of 80 total bones, and besides the skull, it's going to have the rib cage, the vertebral column, and then 3 tiny ossicles, which are actually bones that are inside your ear, in the middle ear, and the hyoid bone that's in the throat, and the hyoid bone is connected to the tongue and some other soft tissues. The skull is going to provide the framework for your head, and it consists of 22 different bones. So there are 8 bones in the cranium, the part that is surrounding your brain, and then 14 bones in the face. So the cranium is the upper portion of your skull. So it's going to consist of 8 bones. So we have 1 frontal, 2 parietal, 2 temporal, 1 occipital, 1 sphenoid, and 1 ethmoid bone. All right. Let's see. So the ethmoid bone is going to separate the nasal cavity from the brain. The sphenoid bone is one of several bones, including the frontal bone, that are going to help form the eye sockets. And then the other bones are going to cover and protect the brain. All right. The bottom of the skull is going to have openings for blood vessels and nerves. And then a large opening called the foramen connects the spinal cord and the brain. So the foramen is down here somewhere. And I have a fake skull in my classroom that you can actually see this on too. So facial bones, there are 14 facial bones. So large bones in the face. Those are going to be the upper jaw bones or maxillae. And so let's take a look at here. Maxillae. Those are the upper jaw bones. Lower jaw bone is the mandible. Let's see here. And then, let's see, 2 zygomatic or cheekbones. So zygomatic, and then 2 nasal bones right here. All right. All right, then we have lacrimal and palatine bones. And a few others that we haven't mentioned yet. Inferior nasal concha. Yeah, so we didn't mention all these. So we have lacrimal, inferior nasal concha, palatine, and that's it. We just named the large bones in this one. Okay. So the vertebral column is also called your spine or your backbone, and it is a column of vertebrae that connect the trunk with the skull and enclose the spinal cord. So there's 33 vertebrae. They're divided into 5 regions, and these regions are noted below. So we have the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal. All right. So the first 24 vertebrae, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar, cervical, thoracic, lumbar, these are going to be individual bones. So individual vertebrae. All right. And then the 5 sacral vertebrae are fused together. So that's your sacrum. And then 4 coccygeal vertebrae. This is the coccyx down here. All right. And then we have the rib cage, which is also called the thoracic cage. All right. So you are going to have, it is going to be the 12 thoracic vertebrae, and the breastbone, also known as the sternum, and 12 pairs of ribs, which are attached at the joints to the vertebrae. All right, the ribs are divided into 3 different groups, so true ribs, false ribs, and floating ribs. So the top 7 are true ribs. Those are connected directly to the sternum. All right. The next 3 pairs of ribs are false ribs. They are connected, attached by cartilage to the ribs above them. All right, so those are these. All right. And then the lowest 2 pairs are floating ribs. All right, they're attached by cartilage to muscles in the abdominal wall. All right. The appendicular skeleton. This has 126 total bones, all of the bones of the limbs, bones of the shoulder, and bones of the pelvis. So the upper limbs, 30 bones. And then, does it say all of these in the, nope, doesn't say in that diagram. Okay, so you have the humerus, which is your long arm bone. And then you have the radius and ulna. These are in your forearm. And then each wrist is going to contain carpal bones. Each hand is going to contain 5 metacarpal bones. And then the bones in the fingers include 14 phalanges. So 3 in each finger except the thumb, which has 2 phalanges. All right. So this says which one are the carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges based on color. The lower limbs, you have your femur, which is the long bone, the patella, which is your kneecap, the tibia, which is the thicker bone, and I remember that because tibia and toe start with the same letter, and it's by your big toe. Then fibula is this outer bone. All right, and then in the ankle and the foot, the ankle is going to contain 7 tarsal bones, and each foot contains 5 metatarsal bones. And then the tarsals and metatarsals form the ankle, heel, and arch of the foot. All right, shoulder girdle attaches to the upper limbs. Attaches the upper limbs to the trunk of the body. It's connected to the axial skeleton, and this allows for range of motion. So you have your clavicle and you have your scapula. All right. So so the scapula helps form the shoulder joint. The clavicle connects the shoulder blade and the sternum. All right. Pelvic girdle attaches the legs to the trunk of the body, and it is made up of 2 hip bones. So each half of the pelvic girdle includes 3 bones: the ilium, ilium, the pubis, and the ischium. All right. Let's see. Each of these bones helps form the acetabulum, which is where the femur bone fits. All right, so hopefully that all makes sense. I know that's a lot of information. Make sure you finish your questions and turn them in to me.